3rd of February, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay. So okay, so here we have this this statement we have over here in our Gemora in Bava Kama on 98. Neymar ish ve'isha shemachru b'nichsei malug. A man and a wife that will sell. Rashi says over here that it's talking about that they're going to sell ke'echad. Even in the case where they both sell their respective interests in the niksei malug to a lokeach, to a buyer. The Gemara over here says that the lo asav lo klum.
Phil, I think you need to mute, please.
Okay, let me get to it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Phil. And Rashi says that on that lo asav lo klum, because the she'eno lo lezev lo lezu, it doesn't belong to him. He doesn't have a complete kinyan over here, and neither does she. So even when they sell it together, it's the Gemara says lo asav lo klum, as though to say they didn't really make a proper sale. It's not a complete sale. Just like they don't have a complete kinyan, it's not a complete sale. What does that mean? It's not a complete sale. Rashi says that be'imeis echad mehem. Rashi doesn't say which one of them, either one of them. If either one of them would be meis, so ze'anishar, the one that survives, motzi midei alakuchos. He would take out from the lakuchos. He would take out from the purchaser. So I wanted to explore today what exactly the Gemora in Bava Basra has to say about this statement of a Meimar. And the Gemora can be found in Bava Basra 50a. It's on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th line from the top of the page.
Did you say 15 or 50? 50?
50, yeah.
So what was it again? 50A?
Yeah, 50A. 50A.
And where on the page was it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines from the top.
Thank you. This is Amar Amemar.
Right. Right. Now over here, actually, the Gemara is bringing a Meimar to ask a kasha on what the Gemara learned out from the Mishnah over here in Bava Basra. But in any case, we'll try to jump in here and see what it is that we can figure out over here. So
I'm sorry, it's Bava Basra. Where 50A?
50A1, Roy.
50A1. Okay.
Right-hand column, 2nd paragraph.
Rav Huna, is it?
No, Amar Amemar.
50A1. Oh, right, that's left hand. Oh,
Right
yes,
hand column,
I had the left hand.
the other right hand.
That's better. Thank you. Where's the rabbi? Oh, there he is.
Here.
All right. Yes, all right.
Okay, I have my head down, looking into this Gemora over here.
Mm.
Okay, so let's just read like we always do our Gemora in Bava Kama. We'll read a little bit in the Gemora here in Bava Basra, and see if we could figure out what the more about this case. So Alan, would you like to read over here?
Sure.
Amar Amemar.
Pardon me?
From Amar Amemar.
It's 50A1, right-hand column, second paragraph. The Gemara challenges
What page are we on?
50A1 in Bava Basra.
Oh, I don't have that, sorry. I don't have that.
Okay. Very good. No problem. So, Roy, would you like to read?
Okay. The Gemara challenges an explanation. We don't need that, right? Amar Amema, but Amema has said, Ish V'sha Shemacharu Benivsi Mivsei Malug, a husband and a wife who sold Malog property. Lo ish ishu velo kolum, have not done anything. Have not done anything of legal consequence. That is, the sale is void. And Artscroll puts in, the Gemara answers that our Mishnah indeed considers a wife's sale of her malog property to her husband binding, and a Memar statement must be understood to mean something else. Ki Itamar Ramema, in regard to what was the ruling of Memar said. And again, the Artscroll says, not in regard to a case where the husband and wife both sold their rights to the Melog property, as we originally thought, but rather in regard to the cases where one or the other of them sold. Hicha de Zavin Ehu Umis. For example, where the husband sold his rights to the Melog property and then died. Emma teaches that the wife can come and take the property away from the purchaser. Or Nami, additionally, Emma teaches that Zamana Ahi Umesa, where the wife sold the title to the land and then died. Mapik, the husband may come and take the land away from the purchaser. The Sakaniti de Rabbanon, but by the power granted to him by the rabbinical enactment, Uvadar something, as stated by Yosef Bar Hanina, the Amar the Rabbi Yosef Bar Hanina for Rabbi Yosef Bar Hanina said, Ba'usha Hiskinu, the sages enacted in Usha, Hasha Shemakara Benikse Malug, that if a woman sells Malug property during her husband's lifetime, Umasa, and then she died, Haba'al al Metsi Mayed Mayad Holocaust, the husband may take the property out of the hand of the purchasers. Aval al ma al hecha tezapenu tavehu le'alama, but where they both sold the Melech property to someone else, I nami zibana the day, or if the wife sold it to the husband, zivna zavina, the sale stands.
Wow. So here we have the Gemora here in Bava Basra is saying that this that Amemar said that the sale is not a sale. Those are the words lo osu v'lo klum. That's only in the case where either one of them sold it by themselves, without the other spouse selling their part of the properties. In the case of the husband selling, he's only has the Kenyan Paris, and he can't even sell that. The wife can come and take it away from the buyer.
Because she owns the goof.
Yeah, it's interesting, but in other words, even though he's the sole owner of the Kenyan Peros, what exactly did he try to sell over here? Did he try to sell the property? He only tried to sell the Kenyan goof, the Kenyan Peros. Doesn't seem.
Well, my English says, where the husband sold his rights to the Malug property. So his rights, I understand that his rights are the produce.
Yeah, so why wouldn't he be able to sell that?
Because since he doesn't own the goof, when he dies, the wife can say, well, he didn't sell the goof. He only had the rights to the produce because he was married to me.
Right. Okay. So in other words, he sold them, and now they do belong to the Lokeach, and the wife can't take them away from the Lokeach right now, as long as the husband is alive. He sold them to this husband sold his rights to the produce, to the Lokeach, and as such, the Lokeach, it would seem to be that it's a valid sale, but it's not a valid sale forever. So now when the husband passes away, the wife takes back those produce, the right to receive the produce. Why? Because the husband only owned the right to receive the produce as long as he was married to his wife, or if he would inherit her. And in this case, he did not inherit her. He was the one that passed away first. So now the right to receive the produce goes back to the wife. And now that's why the wife was able to take it out from the buyer. And then in the case, if the wife then the Gemara said, so that's what the Gemara is saying, what it means, lo asa v'lo klum. In other words, it's not going to be a full sale that's going to last. And likewise with the wife, even if the wife would try to sell her interest in the goof of the property, she's the owner of the property. It's her property. But if she sold it to the lokeach, and then she passed away before the husband, so now the husband is able to get it from the lokeach. And now the only reason for this, though, is because of Tekanas Usha, because Tekanas Usha strengthened the shibud, the lien, the ownership hold of the husband over the property, to make it as though he has a certain kinyan goof in the property. This is what we learned in Tekanas Usha, and therefore that would prevent the wife from effectively being able to cut the rug under the husband and sell it to a lokeach and prevent the husband from inheriting her. So the Tekanas Usha said no, she won't be able to do that, and the husband will be able to reclaim the property from the lokeach, even though without Tekanas Usha, she would be able to do exactly that, mina Torah, if we say that kinyan Paris is not kinyan a goof.
Would he have to give back the money to the lokeach?
Would his estate? He's no longer. Oh no, he's alive. Yeah. Would he have to give money back to the lokeach? Why would he have to give money back to the lokeach?
Because the lokeach bought it thinking he was going to keep it. That was his.
But the Tekanas Usha says that the wife's sale is only is not a full sale.
If he knew that, he may not have bought it.
He's supposed to know what the law is. That's not a trickery that the husband did to him, or that the wife did to him. That's what the law is.
That's true.
If you don't know the law, go ask a lawyer.
Mm.
Go ask a Talmud Chacham. What, he should have to reimburse him because he should know what it is that he's getting into when he buys property.
Okay.
So I think I have a better reading of our original Rashi. Can I try it?
Okay.
So I'm back on Bava Kama, Tzadi Amid Aleph, where it says, Ish ve'isha, afilu machri shnehem ke'achar, ke'echad. Okay, right. So the first Rashi says, even if they sold both of them like one person.
Yeah.
Now it says lo asa v'lo klum. They didn't do nothing. She'eno lo she'eno lo lezeh v'lo lezeh.
Yeah.
So I think the reason for this statement is he's saying that even though they sold it together, still neither of them has a complete ownership, and therefore it's like only one sold it. And therefore, im meis echad mehem zeh ha-nishar motzi miyadei halakochos. Therefore, if one of them dies, then the other one can take it out of the hand. And we asked, what about the wife? Why can she take it out of the hand? So we're saying it's because the husband did not have no, it's to say that it's as if the husband sold his in one sale and she sold hers in another sale. Oh, it's not working. I thought I had it, but I just realized it doesn't work.
Okay, fair enough. So now, the good news is, I think it's good news, that the Gemora is not finished with explaining this statement of Amemar. And the
Right.
next thing the Gemora is going to do is you're going to see, the Gemora is going to say, Ibois Ema, if you want, we could say an alternative explanation of the words of Amemar. Not going to change the words of Amemar, but we're gonna explain them according to the words, according to the view of Rebbe Elazar. And that's our Gemara in Bava Kama.
So are you in Bava Basra now when you say Iboyas Ema? Are you in Bava Kama?
I'm in, yeah, the right after, I'm in Bava Kama. I'm sorry, no, strike that one. I am holding in Bava Basra now. I read you the words in the Gemara of Bava Basra, which immediately follow the words that Roy read.
The Gemara, yes,
After
in the Bava Basra, it says here, the Gemara offers another interpretation of Amar's ruling, and then it goes
Right.
into it.
Right. So now the Gemara is
You're
going
on
to go into it.
58 too.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
left hand.
Okay, I'm with you.
So now the Gemara is going to present an explanation of the words of Rebbe Elaz of Amemar. The Gemara is going to present an explanation of the words of Amemar based upon based upon the belief or the holding that Amemar accords with the view of Rebbe Elazar. Now remember what it was that Rebbe Elazar said. He's the one that said in our Gemora in Bava Kama that in a case where you had the case of actually over there it's Rebbe Eliezer. That's interesting. Over here, what does the Gemara say? The words of Rebbe
Elazar.
That's interesting.
In accordance with her.
And here it's Eliezer.
Yeah.
Someone's either
Bava Kama, it's Eliezer, and Bava Basra, it's Elazar.
just though it says here, in accordance with whom? In accordance with Reb Eliezer. So that doesn't refer to, that refers to what we just read in what came just before that in Bava Kama. It doesn't.
Yeah, but sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't refer to what's coming. It doesn't refer to a different interpretation.
Okay, but we're gonna see that this Gemara in Bava Basra is gonna quote a case that we learned just now in Bava Kama, with the seller and the buyer and the selling of the Eved, and the seller says 1 second, the first 30 days, the slave will serve me and not you. Remember that case that we were talking about earlier this week?
Yeah.
So there you have a case of a Kinyan Peros and a Kinyan Aguf. The buyer only has Kinyan Paris now for 30 days, and this, I'm sorry, the seller, okay, the seller sold his Eved. We're going to see these words inside. Let's just see the words inside. You'll recognize them. So I'm still saying that that this case that the Gemora is saying now is it's definitely the case that we saw in Bava Kama, and we're explaining the words of a Maimer now according to this case in Bava Kama.
What are you
So let's
doing
see
with the difference in the spelling of Rabbi Elazar's name?
We'll have to see whether that is we'll have to see about that one.
Okay.
We'll have to see.
But right now, we're assuming it's the same person.
I don't think it is.
I don't know. I don't see any correction in the Gemora in Bava Basra. It doesn't seem that oh, we see a correction in the Gemora in Bava Kama. Take a look at the Gemora in Bava Kama, where it quotes this case. And it says, Rebbe Eliezer, and I have in my fancy Ozvahadar Gemora, it corrects it to Rebbe Elazar without a yud.
But that's
Yeah.
bad. Because in Baba Kama, it says, Rabbi,
No, I'm talking in Bava Kama.
Baba
take a look
Kama
at
corrects it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
All right, so I was wrong. But so this is in accordance with Rebbe Elazar. He's the correct one, is he?
Right. Yeah, it's clear that very good.
Okay.
So sorry, and the correction is where?
The correction is in Bava Kama on 90A2, right-hand column, third paragraph, where it says, what is Rebbe Eliezer's reason? So I crossed out Eliezer and wrote Elazar.
Yeah.
Do you have a does the art scroll make any mention of the correction?
No,
No?
I don't think so. Should though, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it has a footnote, but it doesn't seem to be talking about the correction.
Okay.
So we cross out we put in Elazar.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
But again, where was the correction mentioned?
In Bava Kama.
In Bava Kama?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
look at the where it says Rabbi Eliezer, you're going to see the correction.
What is Rebbe Eliezer's reason? So that's not
Yes,
bad.
that's exactly it. What is Rabbi Eliezer's reason? Yes.
So where's the correction to Elazar?
In the
Eliezer, Eliezer. Eliezer's reason.
when the Gemara in Bava Kama quoted this brisa about the person selling his Eved Kanani.
Mhm.
It was a long brisa, and there was many different opinions. There was, I mean, it starts towards the top of the page of 90A, and it goes for many lines down to about the middle of the page,
Mhm.
And the first word on the line in the middle of the page is Eliezer with a yud,
Oh, yes, I see that.
right? So Rebbe, and so the correction is that this Tana over here in this brisa is Rebbe Elazar without a yud, because it's the same Rebbe Elazar who our Gemora, the Gemora in Bava Basra is quoting when it says that a Meimar is according with the view of Rebbe Elazar.
But how do we know that there's a correction? I don't see any marking in my Gemora.
Right. So that's why I have the Gemara that I have. I have a Gemara that has a list of all corrections that are that are ever made in history, and he lists three prominent commentators who all make this correction, and so therefore, and in addition to that, they tell us that if you'll take a look in the writings of the Rishonim, the earlier commentators, you'll see that they all, when they quote this brisa, when they refer to this brisa in Bava Kama, they always mention that Rebbe Elazar without a yud.
So right through from then onwards, every mention of Eliezer is Elazar, is it?
Yeah, and you know, the truth of the matter is that you really see on your own that it's got to be like this, because in both places, in Bava Kama and also in Bava Basra, the Gemora is bringing this brisa with the case of the person that owns an Eved Kanani, and he's selling it to the Eved Kanani. He's selling the Eved Kanani. Boy, I don't know what happened to me today. He's selling the seller is selling the Eved Kanani to a buyer, and he's taking back for himself the first 30 days to say that the Eved is going to serve me for the first 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So we see that the case that the Gemara in Bava Kama and the Gemara in Bava Basra are quoting is exactly the same case, and we see that we know that this is we know that the statement of the we know that based upon the words of the statement that's brought, that this is this view that's being expressed over here is the same view. It's the exact same view. So it's got to be the same person. It's the same case. It's the same halachic ruling, and therefore it behooves us to say that it's the same person. So in a case like that, we're not so nervous to make a correction in the page in the Gemara and say that somebody at some point made a mistake. I mean, so in other words, you see it is a bit unusual, because most of the time you'll see that the Bach caught the mistake. The Bach is a couple hundred years before these later commentators that my Gemora is quoting. But you see that the Bach didn't. I don't know. I'm not sure why he didn't. He doesn't. Most likely he caught the mistake, and I don't know. He for some reason it didn't get into his list of amendations that one needs to make in the Gemara. He left that for others. It's a very simple and minor mistake. an understandable mistake. You know, a lot of times you'll see in the Gemara where the Gemara says, Rava says, or Rabba says, and invariably you'll find a correction. No, this is not Rabba that's saying this, it's Rava that's saying this. No, this is not Rava that's saying this, this is Rabba that's saying it with a hey. Spell it with a hey at the end, spell it with an aleph at the end. You find that very often. And it could be that the earlier authorities didn't bother with those types of mistakes, because if you're going to start making a big deal about those types of things, you'll have 50 comments on a few lines of Gemara. So in any case, that's the story about this one.
So where's that leave us now?
Okay, now that we took care of that, we should learn the case in Bava Basra. In other words, what we're looking for is to see how the Gemora in Bava Basra, assuming that a Meimar holds like Rebbe Elazar without a Yud, how are we going to interpret the words of a Meimar in this case? Now, why am I making such a big deal about Rebbe Elazar? You should always be asking. That is because if you take a look again in the Gemora in Bava Kama, sorry about jumping back and forth, but that's the way it goes when you're learning Gemora. It's all one big shas, and we saw very clearly, and I pointed this out a couple days ago, that when the Gemora was very interested to know what is the reasoning of Rebbe Elazar, and the Gemora quoted Rava, and Rava gave a reason, because it has to be kaspo miyuchad lo. His chelik in the Eved has to be kaspo and miyuchad lo, exclusive to him. He's got to have a full acquisition, and so in that case, Rebbe Elazar said that neither one of these two guys, the buyer or the seller, is going to have the leniency of the halach of Yom Yomayim if he kills the Eved, which only the owner, who is kaspo miyuchad lo, is going to have. And that's because of this whole. That's because Rebbe Elazar holds that someone that owns the kinyan of Peros, he doesn't have a full kinyan, because he's missing. And the one that has a kinyan of Guf, he's also missing. There's something deficient in their acquisition, and therefore neither one of them have what we would call a full kinyan in the Peros, in the Eved, and so therefore neither one of them will have the leniency of Yom Yomayim that would be given to the owner of the Eved. So that was the way, and then the Gemora said, who is Rebbe Elazar going like? And the Gemora quoted the statement of Ameimar. Come on, Ozla. Who is this going like? What Rebbe Elazar is saying? Oh, we find this in the words of Ameimar. And the Gemara quoted Ameimar, Ish ve'isha, the husband and the wife that sell the Niksei Malug, lo asa v'lo klum. So we see in our Gemara in Bava Kama an identity between the statement of Ameimar and the statement of Rebbe Elazar. The Gemara understands that Rebbe Elazar is saying like Ameimar. So now, when we come to the Gemora in Bava Basra and we see this Ibois Ema, we say, oh, that sounds like what the Gemora in Bava Kama was saying. So this is the portion that we're really interested in seeing, how we understand what the words of Ameimar mean according to this part of the Gemora in Bava Basra that says lo asam lo klum. How does the okay? You got the setup? And
Yeah, I
now,
got it.
after having said all that, we have no more time. Okay, we have 2 minutes. Okay,
Bye-bye.
now you'll have to wait until next Sunday.
Oy, boy,
But,
hey, you really know how to make a cliffhanger, Rabbi.
This is, but this. Okay. This Sanya Mochas Abdo Pasik Imo Shimshenu Shloshim Yom. See, it's exactly the same thing, and it quotes all the opinions, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, and it's going to quote Rabbi Elazar.
What does
Okay.
it, what does it mean when it says the iba, yes, yes. If you prefer iba, the ibayis, I think.
In other words, right, the literal meaning is ibois ema. If you want, we could say like this. If you want, we could say, meaning to say that there's another entirely different way to explain these words of a memar.
But what's it mean that if you want to, if I've got a choice,
Yes.
I say I don't want to. That's what I'm asking.
It means that it's not refuting completely the first view. It's saying this is a different way to view it, which is not necessarily more correct than the first one we just said.
Right. It's implying, yeah, exactly.
Would both views take you to the same place?
No, they don't.
Beg your pardon?
We'll see that they're two. We're gonna see something very interesting over here. This is an object lesson in how to understand the words of a memar. There's two entirely different ways to explain the words of a memar, and both of them are valid. That's what we're going to see.
All right.
And as to not wanting to know the other explanation of a memar, well, what shall we say about that?
I think I should go and lie down and rest my head.
Okay, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Take care. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.
Thank you,
Bye,
Rabbi.
shalom, Phil. Bye, bye. See you tomorrow, all of you.
We're working our way through it somehow.
That's it. That's the only way to do it.
It's getting more clear, a little bit more clear every day.
Baruch Hashem. Okay, don't forget what we said by Sunday though.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but I got to remember for several days now. That's going to be hard. Okay, take care.